It's a bright, sun-drenched Derby day in London, the kind of day where the city feels alive with the anticipation of the races at Epsom Downs. Viscount Medenham, a man of leisure and high social standing, has his entire afternoon derailed when his aunt falls suddenly ill. It's a minor setback, but for a man looking for a bit of excitement, it's an opportunity. Instead of settling into a quiet afternoon, Medenham decides to take his high-powered Mercury 38 out for a drive himself. While driving through Piccadilly, he encounters a scene of minor chaos. A chauffeur named Simmons is in distress because his car has been damaged. In the middle of this little drama, Medenham meets Cynthia Vanrenen, a spirited and adventurous American heiress, and her chaperone, a woman named Mrs. Devar, who is as rigid and unyielding as a pillar of salt. They need a driver to get them to the races, and Medenham, seeing a chance for adventure and perhaps something more, steps in. But he doesn't just offer a ride, he offers a persona. To avoid any awkward social complications or the immediate recognition of his noble status, Medenham adopts the name George Augustus Fitzroy. He presents himself not as a viscount, but as a professional chauffeur. As the trio travels toward the races, the dynamics of the group begin to shift. Medenham, playing the part of the driver, finds himself in a position of unexpected influence. He's not just steering a car, he's navigating a complex social landscape. During the trip, he manages to win a significant profit on a horse named Iot, and Cynthia is clearly charmed by this mysterious, highly skilled driver. She even goes so far as to offer him a permanent job. It's a dangerous game of social pretend, and the tension is palpable, especially with Mrs. Devar watching every move with intense suspicion. As they move away from the bustle of London and through the English countryside toward Bournemouth and the Wye Valley, the boundaries between social classes start to blur. Medenham is constantly walking a tightrope. He has to maintain the Fitzroy persona while dealing with the reality that he is a man of immense privilege. His valet, Dale, is part of this complication. Dale is a loyal servant, but in the world of high society, a valet's presence can be a dead giveaway. On more than one occasion, Medenham's true identity is nearly exposed, once by a local lady who recognizes him, and once when Dale inadvertently slips up in front of Mrs. Devar. Amidst this comedy of errors, a darker thread begins to emerge. In Brighton, they encounter the Count Edouard Marigny, a man who exudes a sense of predatory intent. Medenham quickly realizes that Marigny isn't just a socialite, he's a man who uses scandal as a weapon. He begins to suspect that the Count is part of a larger conspiracy to exploit Cynthia's wealth and reputation. The stakes rise significantly in the Wye Valley. A boating accident occurs, and Medenham is forced to step in and heroically rescue Cynthia from the water. It's a moment of genuine physical bravery that moves their connection beyond mere flirtation into something much deeper. However, even this moment of crisis is layered with the complexity of their situation. While the rescue is real, it also serves as a way to navigate the social tensions surrounding them. The story shifts toward Bristol, where the masquerade finally begins to crumble. Medenham's true identity as a viscount is confirmed to the social circle, and the fallout is immediate. Marigny, realizing that Medenham isn't just a common chauffeur but a man of high rank, attempts to use this against him. He tries to blackmail the viscount, but Medenham proves he is much tougher than his aristocratic upbringing might suggest. He meets Marigny's manipulation with a directness that intimidates the Count, but the conflict is far from settled. The drama reaches a boiling point when Medenham's father, the Earl of Fairholme, arrives. The Earl is a man of the old school, representing a rigid, uncompromising version of the English aristocracy. He has been misled by rumours regarding his son's behaviour, and he is furious. At the same time, Marigny is playing a much more dangerous game. He attempts to frame Medenham for an illicit affair, a move designed specifically to ruin Cynthia's reputation and social standing. In this moment, Medenham is faced with a choice. He could retreat into the safety of his title and his status, or he could protect Cynthia at any cost. Driven by a sense of honour that outweighs his logic, he chooses the latter. To defend Cynthia's honour against Marigny's threats of slander, Medenham accepts a challenge to a duel by pistols on the beaches of France. The climax of the story takes us to Calais. The tension is high as the characters are scattered across Europe. Dale, Medenham's loyal valet, discovers the aftermath of the duel and finds that Medenham has been mortally wounded. It is a moment of profound desperation. Cynthia, learning of the attack, races to France to find him. When she finally reaches him, The scene is not one of death, but of recovery. Medenham has survived a near-fatal gunshot wound, but he is badly shaken. It is here that Cynthia's character truly comes into her own. She doesn't just wait to be rescued, she takes action. Using her eloquence and her ability to navigate various social circles, she begins to untangle the web of lies that Medenham has spun. She exposes the manipulations, clears the misunderstandings, and restores the truth of the situation. With the scandals cleared and the villains exposed, the social order is restored in a way that feels both earned and inevitable. The story concludes with a grand ceremony at St. George's, Hanover Square, where Medenham and Cynthia are married. Their union is a triumph of genuine connection over the artifice of social performance. When we look back at Cynthia's Chauffeur, it's interesting to see how Louis Tracy uses the concept of the masquerade to explore British class rigidity. The entire plot is driven by the tension between who people are and the roles they are forced to play. Medenham is the most obvious example of this. By becoming a chauffeur, he steps outside the confines of his class, finding a version of himself that is more capable and more decisive than the lounging aristocrat he was at the start of the book. There's a fascinating parallel in the way the characters handle scandal. For the Count Marigny, scandal is a tool for predation, a way to manipulate and destroy for personal gain. For Medenham, the threat of scandal is something to be faced head-on with honor, even if it means risking his life. The book suggests that true nobility isn't found in a title or a pedigree, but in the courage to act with integrity when the social stakes are at their highest. The automobile itself, the Mercury 38, is more than just a mode of transport in this story. It serves as a symbol of modernity and speed, a machine that literally and figuratively breaks down the traditional boundaries of distance and social standing. It's the vehicle that allows this entire collision of worlds to take place. We can also see a recurring theme of fate and coincidence. The various mishaps, the car trouble, the boating accident, the sudden illness, act as the engines of the plot. These aren't just random events, they are the catalysts that force the characters out of their comfort zones and into the path of one another. It's as if the universe is conspiring to strip away their masks, forcing them to confront the reality of their feelings and their characters. Ultimately, the story is a victory for transparency over artifice. The comedy of errors that defines the middle of the book is resolved not by more lies, but by the truth. Cynthia's ability to use her voice to unravel Marigny's web is a powerful moment for a female character of that era. She doesn't just wait for a hero to save her, she becomes the architect of her own social salvation. It's a classic adventure, certainly, but it's one that stays with you because of how it handles the intersection of love and reputation. Medenham and Cynthia's relationship is tested by the very structures meant to protect them: class, chaperones, and the weight of family names. By navigating through the chaos of the duel and the complexity of the social scandal, they find a way to exist as individuals rather than just as representatives of their respective classes. It's a satisfying, if somewhat traditional, resolution that celebrates the triumph of truth over the complicated games of high society.